Expedition 33 has left a great first impression. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, I am Jmulls, and Clair Obscur Expedition 33, in a lot of ways, is a massive love letter to the old school Final Fantasy games of old. It's a modern day, turn-based JRPG inspired game that does feature a world map, and it's extremely stylized, and this game is gorgeous in so many different ways, and I just want to talk about my first impressions with this game. I was expecting to like it, I wasn't expecting it to be this good though. Every element has been just cooking with bacon fat. The visuals are incredible, this game is absolutely gorgeous and inspired, and almost everywhere you look could just be a painting all of its own. This game is gonna have some great screenshot potential, but you pair that alongside an absolutely gorgeous soundtrack, and like that's the only word I can use to describe the music in this game. It's just great across the board. I adore this soundtrack, and it has this beautiful, haunting, and melancholic charm to it. It adds so much to each of the scenes, and when you're just exploring, I just find myself lost just listening to the music and how beautiful it is. From great vocals to great instrumentals, and the battle theme, oh my god, it's so good. And I swear in a few of the fights, it borderline felt as if the song was speeding up the lower the health of the enemy/boss was. That or the music was just so good I didn't particularly notice. But let's talk about the two biggest and most important elements to really any game, but also especially when it comes to a JRPG-inspired game like this: the story and the gameplay. And let's start with the story. And I'm not going to talk about spoilers here, outside of like maybe the first half hour or so, but the premise for this game is really cool and interesting. One day, there was this entity that just kind of came into being. Her name is the Paintress, and every year she writes a new number, beginning at 100 and counting down. And when she writes the number, everyone that is that age dies. They turn into a bunch of dust and essentially just cease to be. And enough time has passed to where she has now written the number 33. And every year, a group from this island, Lumiere, which is essentially what if you took Paris and you chucked it into the ocean. In this broken, shattered world, a group, an expedition if you will, go out on a quest to defeat the Paintress to stop this, fate from happening once again. Because they're locked in this cycle where people just keep getting younger and younger as more and more people die. And he's a part of Expedition 33. Yeah, does the name of the game make a little bit more sense now? And the entire premise of the game is you going out on this expedition to stop the Paintress. And again, I'm not even 4 hours in, and there's already been plenty of plot twists. When it comes to some games, you just get a feeling very early on that you're in for something special, and that is the feeling that I get from Clair Obscur Expedition 33. The premise is extremely interesting, but a story is more than just a premise, more than just a theme. The characterization is strong early on.
If you're gonna give someone flowers, you should probably do it before they wither and die.
What, the flower? Or Sophie?
Ooh, dark. Sophie would approve. Hey, you said it, not me. The others are waiting for you. You're supposed to be helping with the festival.
With what? Putting up 3 tables? They'll manage.
You underestimate Lumiere's enthusiasm for the expedition. There's at least 5 tables.
Marvelous.
Have you tried throwing with your other arm instead? If you could hit the Paintress directly, that would actually be useful.
You know, hobbies don't always have to be useful. I'm enjoying the uselessness of today and readying my usefulness for tomorrow.
And I think that is attributed to a few factors. Good facial animations, albeit poor lip sync, alongside well-written dialogue, and I mean really well-written dialogue. It got a few chuckles out of me here and there, and the characterization is just really strong, because the characters have genuine charm. Also, if you play Baldur's Gate 3, you will recognize a few of the voice actors. But when you pair an interesting premise like Expedition 33 has, alongside the cast of characters that are as big and vibrant as they are this early on, alongside incredible music and gorgeous imagery and visuals across the board, Expedition 33 grabs my attention really early on, and makes me interested to find out what not only happens to the world, but also the characters. And this game gets dark. Gruesome, dude. Oh my god, I wasn't expecting it to get that horrifying. And not in terms of being a scary game or anything, it isn't. It's just this game is gruesome. It's a cruel world, and you will find out why it's a cruel world. Yet it juxtaposes those moments of horror, those moments of this world is doomed, what's going on here? With just these scenes and the vistas of absolute gorgeous imagery. The use of color, the use of lighting in this game is absolutely breathtaking. And it's just a world that you want to explore more. It's so colorful and creative and imaginative. For a world that is broken and shattered, riddled with monsters, good God, do I just want to walk around and just take in all the sights and the sounds and the smells of it. And the game has plenty of visual variety very early on. You can kind of take the initial, prologue section, either fast or slow, and if you go the way I did, and you just explore everything, you talk to every NPC, it can be perceived to have a very slow pace initially. However, if you don't move with the speed of an aging tortoise, you could just speed through a lot of that initial dialogue if you want to get really quickly into the action. Speaking of, let's talk gameplay, because it's really good here. If you are a fan of turn-based JRPG-style combat, I think you will like this game as well. There's a few additions that they implement into this game to make it feel more modern. Dodging and parrying, and also QTEs. So for pretty much every attack the enemies can throw at you, you can either dodge or parry them. Some attacks can only be parried, but the window to actually parry an attack is way tighter than it is to dodge, and you can dodge regularly or perfect dodge. You can unlock and utilize skills that also give you different benefits for hitting parries or dodges. For instance, I got one that gives me more AP when I land a perfect dodge. I think it's a perfect dodge, it could just be a regular dodge though. I think the true beauty of this combat system lies in the way that it does difficulty, because you can tackle really hard encounters rather early on if you're really good at timing, and you hit those dodges, you hit those parries. If you hit every parry in an enemy's attack window, you get a good counter. But if you're not really good when it comes to those quick reaction style of gameplay mechanics, you can kind of ignore them. It's just you have to rely on building up your characters and utilizing the skills you have access to, and probably ignore the really tough enemies early on. But in combat, you have a few different options at your disposal. You have a gun or a ranged weapon depending on the character you have. You can spend AP, which is something you just build up over the course of combat. You can spend it on your ranged attack, and you can aim these things. Certain enemies have weak points, they're rather obvious, and you can use your ranged attack to hit those weak points for a bunch of damage. You have a bunch of spells/skills that you can also utilize, as well as a basic attack. And I've only had access to two different characters, Gustav and Luna. However, they both play very differently. Luna is like a white mage/black mage. Heavy emphasis on the black mage, where she can cast out a bunch of destructive magic as well, and Gustav is more like a spell sword kind of deal. Each character has their own little skill tree, nothing too intensive, we're not talking PoE here or anything like that, but just something to progress with a few branching choices for you to specialize characters in what you would personally want. You can also upgrade their stats on a level up, and you get 3 additional level ups, well, for each level. I've been going straight might for everyone, which is just more damage, and I like my damage. The combat feels familiar to me as someone who plays a lot of Final Fantasy, but also, I like the little tweaks and changes that are added to this formula because of things like dodging and parrying. I play a lot of games that have dodge and parry mechanics, so I feel right at home here. And on top of that, certain skills that you pump out will have QTEs. Think of them kind of in a similar vein to the Gunblade from FF8. Where if you hit your QTEs, well, you get more out of it. And you can really turn the tide of combat if you know how to dodge, you know how to parry, and you hit your QTEs. But it's not like the game gives you no options if you can't do those things, right? You get quite a few items you can utilize in combat and out of combat, and the spells at your disposal are rather strong. And I like how each character plays differently. It's one of the things I've always appreciated out of JRPGs in particular, is when each party member plays and feels fundamentally different to one another. For instance, Luna has this mechanic called stains. When she applies an elemental magic on an enemy, it applies a stain, and certain spells that she has will utilize those stains for additional damage or different effects. Gustav has an overcharge mechanic, where over the course of doing various abilities, or hitting dodges and stuff like that, he'll build up charge, and he can drop all that charge in a big overcharge attack. And the animations in this game are rather rapid, but they look and feel nice. Speaking of looks, there's one element we need to talk about, and that is fashion. Yes, the characters have different cosmetic options you can equip. I don't know how many, as I've only really unlocked 2 different things. One hairstyle that I think is butt ugly that you unlock at the very beginning of the game by trading in a token during, like, the scene before you go out on the actual mission. And then, rather early on into the game, there's an optional mini-boss guy. He's a mime. Not the first one, the second one. If you find that guy and you fight him, he's rather tough. But if you manage to break his shield, various abilities have break as an added effect, by the way, you dodge his attacks that can just pretty much one-shot you or do insane amounts of damage, depending on the combo he uses. If you get him down, for Gustav, the MC, you unlock the Baguette outfit. And I'm not joking or memeing when I'm saying that, it is actually straight up called the Baguette outfit.
Get ready.
Okay. Not perfect, but good enough. It has 6 stacks of burn on him. Boom. Wait, what did we get for loot? Baguette. Where's my wardrobe? Oh my god. Dude, the Baguette hair? Yes! We get a beret as well? Yes. Oh my god, I love this game. Oh my god, there's a baguette on our back. Dude, we're going full French. We're here to review your cafe, and it's subpar coffee. Your croissants are inadequate, and your butter is milky. Not in a good way. Dude, look at the tips on that baguette, though. Fuck. Mwah. This game was advertised as what if a Final Fantasy game was really French, and I love how they leaned into the memes of it. This game just has a really good vibe around it. It's able to be breathtaking and gorgeous and emotional, or really gory and visceral, and then just funny. For fans of older Final Fantasy games, you'll know one of the best elements of those games was their ability to weave between those various elements and tones. And I think Expedition 33, this early on, is striking a good balance and is showing great competence at being able to do that. The game keeps you on your toes, and it keeps you wanting more. And I want more, and now I want to play more of this game. I just got to the baby's first open world section of this game, and up to now the game has been rather on rails, though even in pretty linear levels, there's still a few branching paths you can go off and explore for additional pieces of loot, or to fight the occasional mini-boss. I think Expedition 33 just has a really good and addicting gameplay loop, where I want to get better at perfect dodging, I want to get better at parrying, I want to level up my skills and unlock even more abilities because they sound really cool, like mayhem, summoning in tsunamis and stuff like that. I want to find out what happens not only to the characters I have available to me right now, but other characters as well. I just want to play more, I want to learn more. This game leaves a great first impression. What a gem this game is turning out to be. So I'm going to call the video there for the day. Thank you all for tuning in. Leave a like and subscribe if you like the video and want to see more content. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts, your impressions of Expedition 33. I'd love to hear your thoughts, even if you haven't played it. How does it look to you? Are you interested in it? Are you not? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts, hear your opinions, and hear your perspectives. Stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Until we meet again.